Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel English Literature. Now today we are going to talk about Shakespeare's Macbeth Act 1 Scene 4. 4 is the palace. Is a sitting. Flourish. Flourish means there is the noise of trumpet. It heralds the coming of the kings. Enter Duncan, Malcolm and Donalbain. Okay. Lennox the attendant. At a camp, there is some disturbance. Okay. At a camp near the battlefield, Malcolm tells Duncan that the old Thane of Cawdor confessed and repented before being executed. And who is the new Thane of Cawdor? The old Thane of Cawdor, who is the betrayer. Duncan knows that you cannot always trust a man by his outward show. Macbeth, Banquo, Ross and Angus enter. Duncan thanks the two generals, Macbeth and Banquo. Next, Duncan announces that Malcolm will be heir to the Scottish throne. Macbeth expresses his joy but notes to himself that Malcolm now stands between him and the crown. Duncan then adjourns the meeting and decides to spend the night at Inverness, that is Macbeth's castle. Okay, there is some problem is going on. Macbeth goes ahead to inform Lady Macbeth to prepare for the king's impending arrival. Sorry for the disturbance. Now Duncan, is execution done on Cawdor? Aren't those in commission yet returned? So Duncan is asking that has the Thane of Cawdor been put to death or not? Have those who were charged with the duty of executing him returned yet or not? So we have already found in the previous scene that Macbeth is hailed as Thane of Cawdor by Ross. So Macbeth is already given the title of Thane of Cawdor, and now Thane of Cawdor is under prosecution. Malcolm, my liege, means my lord, they are not yet come back, but I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. So the man who reported Malcolm, he said that Thane of Cawdor confessed his treachery and he humbly begged your majesty's pardon, and that he expressed a deep feeling of regret over his actions. Nothing in his life became him like the living it. This line is very important. Nothing in his life, the way in which he died, showed him to be a worthy man. Nothing he did during his whole life, this line means that whatever he did during his whole lifetime, showed him to be as nothing, not as worthy as the manner of his death. So in his death, he proves himself more worthy with his repentance, with his humbleness. That is Macbeth wants to mean. He died as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed. What is the dearest thing? The dearest thing is our life. So he died like a man who has learned how to die and how to throw away without regret his dearest possession. Dearest possession is our life, as it were a careless trifle, as just an ordinary thing. He dies as if death meant nothing to him in this way. Duncan, there is no art to find a mind construction in the face. So face is always deceptive. It is told that face is always deceptive. Means the speech by Duncan is a fine stroke of dramatic irony. This is going to happen again and again. Duncan refers to the complete confidence, that the trust with which he treated once Thane of Cawdor, but Thane of Cawdor betrayed him. And when he is speaking this theme that appearance is deceptive, that Thennocotta gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust, but he betrays at that moment, enter Macbeth, the future betrayer. Banquo Ross Angus. Oh, dearest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wings of recompense is slow. Recompense means reward, to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine? Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay. Proportion. What is the proportion? The owing up of how much was due and how much was to be paid. So the proportion Duncan is referring to here refers to how much was due. Means how much is Macbeth deserved. How much Macbeth deserved. How much Macbeth deserved. And how much he is paid by Duncan. This is the proportion. Only I have to say, okay, thou art so far before the swiftest wings, that you have been so swift in laying me under your obligation that even the speediest possible action on my part to repay you would not keep pace with you. That he want to mean. Might have been mine, only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay. Means all that I have to pay you with is a statement that I cannot repay you. There is no reward big enough for the service you have rendered on me. So only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay. What does it mean? That there is no reward enough for your service. This means no reward enough for your service. Now Macbeth's speech. This service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Means the reward for the service and loyalty to the king is found in the very joy of performing the duties. So Macbeth is acting very humble here, though he is thinking something else. He is saying the reward for the service and the loyalty to the king, this is my remuneration. That I am serving you, this is my remuneration. But we know what is going on in Macbeth's heart in the Act-1, Scene-3. We are already find Macbeth is echoing the witch's word. So fair and foul a day. So fair in the sense that he has won the victory, and foul in that sense the day is foggy, there is thunder, so foul. But he is already under the spell of the witches who use the same word, fair is foul and foul is fair. So we know that what is going on Macbeth's mind to the asides in Scene 3. But now he is playing very humble. Is to receive, your highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything save toward your love and honor. So Macbeth is saying that my duty in performing your duties is my remuneration. Your Majesty's function is to receive our services, and we owe our duty towards your family, towards your kingdom, towards your children, towards your servant. And in performing those duties, that is our reward. Okay. Now Duncan is saying, welcome hither, I have begun to plant thee. So here we find garden image. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. I have begun to feel the same affection for you as a gardener feels for the plants he has planted. So Duncan is a great king. He trusts and rewards his subjects generously. But Duncan has a characteristic weakness, tendency, that is, he is gullible. He's got gullible. And this nature easily makes him vulnerable to treachery, again and again. So Duncan here in this line, in this speech, Duncan has compared himself as a gardener. He is a gardener. He wants his garden to be bloomed. For his country's bloomingness, country's flourishment is more important to him. But for Macbeth only thinks of his own profit. So as a king, Duncan is great and greatest. To make the fool of growing, Duncan wants his subjects to get to full of growing. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart. Now Duncan is talking with Banquo that you deserve no less a reward, nor must we give less publicity to your achievement. Let me embrace you. Okay. Banquo, there if I grow, the harvest is your own. So again, Banquo is talking in that self-same tone of Duncan, garden image, but Macbeth is not talking anything. Now, that if the copse is good, then must be harvest is going to you. If I flourish in the warmth of your heart's affection, all that I am capable of doing, then will belong to you. Now Duncan is saying, my plenteous joys, means my abundant joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in draughts of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thegns, and you, those whose places are the nearest known, will establish our estate upon our eldest Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland. My abundant joys, he is full of joys. Now he is addressing everyone. That sons, relations, things, everyone he is addressing to announce something great. That is, you should know that I am going to settle the succession upon my eldest son. That is Malcolm. Who is Malcolm? From now on, he shall be known by the title of Prince of Cumberland. Okay. So this is very important. Duncan is addressing everyone present and he is announcing his eldest son as a Prince of Cumberland, whose honor must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. From thence to Inverness. What is Inverness? Inverness is the castle of Macbeth. It is not Inferno, but it is now going to be Inferno. From thence to Inverness and bind us further to you. So what is Duncan saying? That now we shall move to the place, to Macbeth's castle, and further obligation to you by your hospitality. Now they plan to spend the night at Macbeth's castle after the announcement. The rest is labor, which is not used for you. Oh my God. Any time which I spend resting instead of doing something to serve you is like a burden upon me. So Macbeth is playing so much humbleness here. I'll be myself the harbinger. Harbinger means messenger. I will be the messenger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave. So I shall act as your forerunner. I am going to inform my wife about that you are coming and your intended visit to our residence. Accordingly, I humbly seek your permission to depart. Okay. So Macbeth just take leave to go ahead to inform his wife about the intended visit of Duncan. To inform him. So the scene is going to prepared. Duncan, my worthy corridor. So the one betrayal corridor is replaced by new betrayal corridor. Macbeth, aside. The Prince of Cumberland, that is a step on which I must fall down. Actually, the crown of Scotland was originally not hereditary. When a successor was declared during the lifetime of a king, the title of the Prince of Cumberland was immediately conferred on him as a mark of his resignation. Okay. So, this aside is very important. It clearly shows Macbeth's mind. The nomination of Malcolm is nominated as Prince of Cumberland. That means that after Duncan's death, he will be the king, heir of the throne. And this is the obstruction. This is the obstruction in the way of Macbeth's ambition. So, this is the obstruction, that Malcolm is declared as Prince of Cumberland. So, Macbeth is saying that this is an obstruction which he says will frustrate his plans to become the king. So, he must overcome this obstruction. I must fall down. He can fall down or else overleap. So, this is the step. This is the obstruction that is hindering her ways to be successful in his ambition. So, unless he must cross it, or must he cross the hurdle. For in my way it lies. It lies in my way. Means way of to become the king. Way to become the king. Stars, hide your fires. So Macbeth is now invoking darkness, the hellish darkness, inferno. Macbeth is invoking darkness. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see. So Macbeth is totally lost. This scene establishes the drama's premise, the witch's awakening of Macbeth's ambition. Actually, in Macbeth's heart, there was the ambition. Macbeth's desire to be the king was already there. That's why when the witches said him as king, he startled, he became afraid. And now Macbeth is fixes upon witches' prophecy. Unless, so stars hide your light, let not my wicked and hidden desires become visible in your light. May my eyes convince at what my hands do. Yet let me do that which my eyes will be afraid of seeing. So he is want to do something with his hands that his eyes is afraid to see. And you will find the same echo in later part after Duncan's murder. After Duncan's murder, Macbeth will say that I am afraid to go there. When Lady Macbeth will tell Macbeth, why have you brought the bloody daggers here? You must put them in the chamber. Then Macbeth will say that I am afraid to go and see what I have done already. So what Macbeth is going to say, Macbeth is saying here that what his hands will do, his eye will be afraid to see. So this is a guilty thought, and it makes him address to the stars. This thought that I am going to kill. So he is addressing the stars to put off the light, not to reveal his sinful desire, to hide their light. So his hidden desires should not get exposed. His own eyes, he says, will be afraid to look at the deed of murder. And so he calls upon his eyes to shut themselves, not to witness what he has done. So Macbeth's ambition to become the king has now taken a concrete shape. Macbeth is now full in concentration on what he is going to do. Before Malcolm was declared as the king of, as the Prince of Cumberland, he has some oscillation that what he is declared, prophesied, maybe happened by chance. So I have not to act upon it. That was his thought. But when Malcolm is declared, he understands that he has to act upon it. So Macbeth's ambition has now taken a concrete shape. He has taken the prophecy of the witches now seriously. Okay, and he is running towards the direction of kingship by the foul means. The promotion of Malcolm actually acts as the instigation. This upsets Macbeth. This becomes the hurdle, and now he has to do something. Otherwise, he cannot be the king. Duncan. True, O the Banco, he is full, so valiant. O the Banco, what you have said is true. Macbeth is fully as brave as you have, and in his commendation I am fed. So whatever is said in praise of him, commendation. So whatever is said in praise of him, I am fed. In his praise, I am satisfied. It is nourishment for him, for me. Macbeth's praise, someone is praising Macbeth, that is giving nourishment to Duncan. So you can think how Duncan is a great king. So it is banquet. Again he is saying it is banquet to me. So Macbeth's praise, someone is praising Macbeth. Macbeth's praise is like a rich feast, banquet, rich feast for Duncan. Let us follow Macbeth. Macbeth is already going to inform Lady Macbeth, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. So let us follow him to his residence. He felt such a deep interest in our visit that he has gone there beforehand in order to make the arrangement. Okay, make the arrangement of killing. So that is the pathetic thing here. Whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is too much irony. Actually, Macbeth, this drama is packed with dramatic irony. Every line you find there is double meaning. Bid us welcome. The welcome is full of irony. Duncan is going to be murdered there. It is a peerless kinsman. He is a relative with no equal. Peerless means no equal. He is a no equal. He is just so close that there is no equal in his devotion and loyalty to me. And this is said by Macbeth that he is peerless kinsman. Again this line is great irony. He is peerless kinsman in the sense that this kinsman, this relative is going to kill Duncan. Macbeth is Duncan's first cousin. So he is Duncan's kinsman. And he is peerless because he is above all other kinsmen in his service or whatever it is. But he is again peerless kinsman because no other relative can kill a relative in such brutal way. So this line is also a great dramatic irony. Okay. Now in our next class we will talk about the next scene, that is scene 5. Thank you.